Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So as you can see in the title, in today's reading we're going to be finding out all about your next relationship. We'll see when you're going to meet your person, how you feel about each other throughout the different stages of your relationship, what the relationship is like, the lessons you teach each other, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm very excited today because our video has a sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Function of Beauty. This is actually the first time I have a sponsored video on this channel because it is the first time that I've actually been approached with something that I feel really excited about and that I want to share with you guys. So if this is your first time hearing about Function of Beauty, they have created a line of hair care products that are customizable to fit your own unique hair type and hair goals. All you need to do is fill out their 2-minute quiz and select the color and fragrance you want for your products. So this here is the Function of Kino. She is purple, she is beautiful, she comes with free stickers. Ta-da! So as you can see, my natural hair is quite curly, big and frizzy, and she's very thirsty from years of flat ironing and straight perming. So I created a formula that would replenish her and help her grow back. And this is what my hair looks like now. I've been using the shampoo, conditioner, and the serum for a few days now. So I just want to say, if you guys have my type of hair, like curly, coarse, dry, you know that we don't like to shampoo our hair that frequently, and so I was a little bit concerned about using these products regularly, but let me tell you, the moisture! You know when you put conditioner in your hair and it's like very smooth and slick and you can just feel your hair drinking up all of the... You know what I'm trying to say? That is literally what the shampoo feels like. I was like scrubbing it into my hair in the shower and I'm like, oh, okay, she's really giving her a drink. Also, I really love this serum. I have used so many different types of hair oils and I just found that this one had a really nice consistency and it really did stick to my hair and keep it moisturized. All of Function of Beauty's products are free of parabens, sulfates, GMOs, and they are also all vegan and cruelty-free. And the bottles are made of recycled plastic. If you guys want to try making your own customized hair products, Function of Beauty is going to be giving my viewers 20% off their first order. The link will be in the description box below. Thank you so much, Function of Beauty, for sponsoring this video. And now let's get to the reading. Okay guys, so today there are 3 piles for you to choose from. I'm going to show you each of the crystals one by one, and then please pick whichever one you feel the most drawn to. So number 1 is blue calcite. Number 2 is selenite. And number 3 is sodalite. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s. So if you chose the blue calcite, this is going to be your reading about your next relationship. So I want to start with these 2 oracle cards, and with these cards we're going to see if we can get a feel for your next partner's personality as well as the time frame in which you will enter the relationship with them. So first we have Show the World the Real You with the full moon in Aquarius, and then we have A New Romantic Cycle Begins with the new moon in Libra. Very straightforward message in a relationship reading. So I wanted to try using the phases of the moon on these cards to predict the time frame, and we have a full moon going to a new moon. So the full moon to the new moon would represent half a cycle, and I'm going to take this to mean half a year, so 6 months. I think you guys will be in the relationship in 6 months' time, so you will meet this person before that, or you may even already know the person. I think it's probably going to be 50-50 for this group, because I do also sometimes interpret like full moon as somebody you already know and new moon as a new person. So we kind of have a mixed group here. But you will be in the committed relationship within 6 months from whenever you're watching this video. Now, as for their personality, we have Aquarius and Libra signs being shown here. These could be prominent signs in your person's chart, but they are just here to give us some more insight about what type of person they are. So starting with Aquarius, this will be someone who is quite a progressive thinker. They are very open-minded and they genuinely see everybody as equal. which may sound like common sense, but I do think it's very special for someone to truly, like, down to their core, not judge based on, appearances or social status or age or anything like that. This is somebody who treats everybody they meet with the same kindness, and they go through life with that philosophy of, like, you can learn something from everybody, regardless of what path they've taken, regardless of their education. You can learn something valuable from every person that you come into contact with. This would be somebody who, when you first meet them, they might seem to be a little bit distant or a little bit detached. They could be kind of hard to read at first, but once you get to know them, they actually are very, very expressive. I look at this image with the woman who's pouring out her vase of water. And this just makes me think of somebody, getting everything off their chest and saying everything that they feel. So I think that once you pass that initial phase of getting to know each other, this is going to be someone who's extremely talkative and very expressive of their emotions. I'm also getting that they're super opinionated, especially when it comes to topics of social justice and equality and their vision of the future, because the Aquarius, it has that energy of being a visionary and a humanitarian, somebody who really wants to make a difference, and they're going to love talking about the future with you, talking about what they envision for the world and how they want to make a difference in the world. So yes, while at first glance they could seem very cool and detached, this is actually a very emotional and very passionate person. I also think this is generally they're quite easygoing and, mild-tempered. I think this is not the type of person to, get jealous in a relationship. This is not the type of person to argue about petty things. They're just generally quite easygoing. And I think you might be surprised a couple times throughout the relationship where you think they're going to get mad at you, or you think that they're going to get annoyed, and then they're just not at all, Like, can I give an example? You have to cancel a date, like, 2 hours before, and you think they're going to be pissed, and they're like, oh, don't worry, I totally understand. They're very, very tolerant, and they just don't really get mad at stuff. They just don't really care. They care about what really matters, and that is, caring about you and making sure that you're happy and safe, and that's really it. So I think it's a very easy person to be with, a very easy person to get along with. Then you also have Libra energy here. So I really, really love any Libra card from this deck for a relationship, because it has the scales, which are completely even. And it makes me think that this really is, a fair and equal effort in the relationship. So, and this goes even to the getting to know each other phase. Like, if you initiate a conversation one day, they're going to initiate a conversation the next day. If you're there for them in a hard time, they're going to be there for you in a hard time. It's very, not like you're keeping a tally or anything, but I hope you know what I mean. You're going to feel that reciprocity and that mutual effort into the relationship. So that being said, for any of you who are dealing with someone who is just really not putting in the effort, like, you find that you're always the one to invite them, you're always the one to start the conversation, you're always the one to check up on them, I would really strongly feel that this is not the person you're going to be in a relationship with. The person you're meant to be with is going to reciprocate. They're going to show up, and they're going to account for their side of the scale. Libra energy is also quite romantic. Yes. Like I said, this is a very emotional and very expressive person. So when you're in the relationship with them, you can expect to receive many romantic gestures from them. This is an extremely generous person, especially, when they love someone, when they really care for somebody. They really, really go the extra mile is like the phrase that I'm hearing. So yes, if you guys like that element of romance, if you like being treated, you like being showered with the affection, you're gonna have a really, really good time in this relationship. This person, They like to keep their room nice. It may not always be like the most clean and neat space, but they like to keep it decorated nicely. I'm thinking of that Venus energy in Libra, which really likes, you know, things to look nice, and they like the finer things. They're very agreeable. Very agreeable. I think it would be really hard to find somebody who genuinely does not like this person. They make a very good first impression. So if you were ever to introduce this partner to your family and friends, they're all going to love them. They're very charming, very engaging. When they're having a conversation with somebody, they really, really make that other person feel cared for, you know? Like, I want to hear about what you're interested in. I want to hear about your day. I want to hear about your hopes and dreams. They really just love to engage and interact with people. So they might fall more on the extroverted end of the spectrum. But yes, extremely kind, charming, friendly. Love it. Okay, so yes, let's move on now, and let's take a look at these tarot cards. So these 3 cards are going to show the various stages of your relationship. So when you first meet, when you start dating, and when you have been dating for some time. So for the energy of your first meeting, there's the Page of Swords. There's a lot of air energy happening here, with both Libra and Aquarius being air signs, and then this Page of Swords also being an air sign. Then we have Moonchild for when you guys start dating. And then finally, for when you guys have been in a committed relationship for some time, there's the Wheel of Fortune. So I'm going to start over here with this Page of Swords. What I find for the Page of Swords in terms of the circumstances of your meeting, it's usually one of 2 things, and that is you meet at a social gathering, or you meet like online through social media. If you have not met this person yet and you're watching in 2020, probably for most of you it's going to be social media given our situation, but it could be one or the other. You guys may have some mutual friends. That's not for everybody. But for the vast majority of you guys, with the Page of Swords, this is going to be something that starts off as a friendship. That's what I see very, very often with the Page of Swords. And even if you do feel attracted to them right from the start and develop feelings early on, I do think at least the nature of your interactions is not going to be romantic. So you're going to keep it platonic for a while. I think you'll be in very frequent communication right from the start. And like I said, it is going to be reciprocated. So, you know, the frequency of your communication and the length of the messages that you send each other, it's going to flow very nicely and naturally. Another thing is you will feel so comfortable with this person that you won't have to think about, you know how we do that, like, oh, you know, I already texted them, I double texted them today, so I probably shouldn't message them again, or, you know, I started the last 2 conversations, okay, so I'm gonna wait for 3 days, and if they don't text me, like, there's gonna be none of that, because it doesn't matter. It's just natural, and when I want to talk to you, I'm gonna talk to you, and I know that you are gonna respond and be engaging, and it's gonna be a great conversation. You guys communicate really, really well. I think most of you will also be close to the same age, which I guess is relevant because I guess, you know, you will understand each other's references, and you'll have, maybe you grew up watching the same shows, you have the same sense of humor. You guys just click really, really well like that. I really frequently see, especially with the Page of Swords, the same sense of humor. No matter how weird you might think your sense of humor is, I guarantee that your next partner is the same. They will laugh at the same dumb stuff that you do. And you'll probably very quickly find yourself, you know, with your own inside jokes and this kind of thing, you know, sending each other funny pictures and all this kind of stuff. It's just really, really fun to talk to this person. And I think that you will fall for each other, first and foremost, for that kind of, you know, intellectual connection that you guys have. Okay, so moving on to the Moonchild, this is the energy for when you guys have just started dating, so you've already gotten to know each other, and now things have reached a romantic level. So this Moonchild card is obviously, you know, not a traditional major arcana. It's an original one from this deck. This makes me think it's a very spiritual card, and the moon, especially crescent moons like this, they make me think of intuition. So I think you guys are going to realize once you start dating that this way you guys click, it runs much deeper than just a mental thing. Like, you guys seem to be connected on some kind of spiritual level as well. And I think this is going to manifest in a couple ways. For one, you might find yourself knowing what the other is going through or what the other is feeling without them verbally communicating it to you. So, for example, maybe you had, you know, kind of a bad day and you're very stressed out, but you haven't said this to your partner yet. And then out of the blue, they message you like, "Are you okay? Is everything okay? I just felt like checking in on you for some reason." And it's like, how did you know? I just had the worst day ever. Sorry to give a negative example like that, but you'll have that strange kind of connection. And I think you'll also notice that you have, you know, some similar experiences in your childhood, like things that are just too weird. Not that this is just a hypothetical example, okay? I'm not saying that this is going to be true for you guys, because that would be insane, but you know, just for an example, like you found out that there was a period where you guys lived like 2 blocks away from each other when you were babies or something like this. Some weird coincidences like that. You may even have, you know, similar dreams sometimes. So yes, things like this that make you realize that, you know, this connection is deeper than you may have thought in the beginning. And actually, now that I think about it, I often associate this kind of deep blue and purpley colors with a very, very long-standing spiritual connection. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is not your first time around. Like, you've had many, many lifetimes together. And whether or not this person is spiritual, they will at least recognize that and be like, "Oh my gosh, that's really weird. Like, that's never happened to me before. I've never had that kind of connection with someone before." So that's going to be really cool and maybe kind of freaky for you guys. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune for the card that represents when you guys have been dating for some time. So the Wheel of Fortune, it shows anything with heavy elements of fate and destiny. So it just, you know, it's going to keep going like this. The more you guys get to know each other, the closer you guys get, you're gonna know without a doubt, like, okay, this was destined. We were meant to meet each other. You know, there's no other way we can possibly describe like how well we get along together, how similar we are. There has to be some higher power that arranged this, and I think you're both going to believe that very, very strongly. I'm also looking at the duality here of like light and dark, light and dark. So you're going to know very, very well each other's strengths and weaknesses, and you're going to embrace each other for all of it, you know? And not just like, "Oh, I love you even though you have this darkness." It's going to be, "I love even this darkness. I love your light and I love your darkness. I love all of it." So, and this may be a first for you guys, you know, feeling 100% entirely seen and accepted by somebody. It's, what's that like? Anyway, but yes, you will definitely see the element of destiny there. There will be no doubt about it. And I think, you know, for maybe the first time or the first time in a long time, you're gonna feel really, really comfortable with yourself and where you are in your life, and truly feel that you are lovable and that you don't have to change for anything. You'll feel that about yourself, and you'll feel that about your partner too. All right, so for the next 3 cards, these are my little constellation cards, and I wanted to use these for some keywords for your relationship. So the first one is heal, and then spirit. So those go together nicely. And punish. So I definitely think these can all go together, actually. Heal spirit and punish. This card makes me think of being hard on yourself, like quite literally punishing yourself. So it's very clear that you guys go through a lot of spiritual healing together and that you guys love each other wholly and completely. Up until now or in the past, maybe that has not been the case for you guys. Perhaps you have been in the past quite hard on yourselves for your perceived flaws and weaknesses, and I am having a feeling that like it's not just you, it's like maybe your past partners were quite hard on you. You know, they were angry with you a lot, or they put you down a lot. It could even, you know, go back to your childhood, like perhaps there were some adults, some people in your life who were quite hard on you or who punished you a lot. And even if they don't do that anymore, it's like you internalize that and you carry that with you. So even, you know, the smallest little mistake that you make, or the smallest imperfection, you're so quick to punish yourself and, you know, talk badly about yourself. And I think that's something that you guys are going to heal together in this relationship. And actually, even going back, you know, to the beginning of the reading, I was picking up on this thing, like there's going to be times where you expect them to get mad at you and they don't. I feel that you guys have internalized this idea of, you know, I need to be punished, or I did something bad, somebody's going to be mad at me. And you'll realize through this relationship, like it's not that serious. You know, there's nothing wrong with you. There's no need for you to be so hard on yourself. In fact, everything about you is lovable and everything about you is valuable. So you'll learn to be very, very kind to yourself and just relax and accept yourself through this relationship. And I really see, you know, minimal fighting, minimal anger, just peace. And it's such a relief, you know, it's such a weight lifted. And probably you guys have been waiting for something like this for quite some time. You know, like it doesn't have to be hard. That's the phrase that I'm thinking. It doesn't have to be hard. Whew, okay, feel a little heavy. So let's go to the final cards. I have picked 2 oracle cards for each side. We're gonna look at what is the biggest lesson that this partner teaches you, and what is the biggest lesson that you teach your partner. So, so we have love. This says like I exercise, or I show unconditional love every day. And patience. So this will be the biggest lesson that your partner teaches you, unconditional love and patience. I honestly feel that's kind of a reiteration of what we were just talking about with these oracle cards here, that, you know, this person truly does love you unconditionally every day. So they love you on your good days, they love you on your bad days, and they're very, very, very patient with you. So, you know, I don't know if you've ever been struggling with some insecurity, with some imperfection that you have, and it's taking a really long time to overcome it, taking a really long time to heal it, and you can just feel your partner getting increasingly impatient with you. I've personally been through that. It sucks. This person just has infinite patience for you, and they're always there for you, because any issue that you may have, it's like, that's our issue, we work on it together. And same with them, you know, any issue that they may be having, that's the two of you, that's yours to work on together. And they're not going anywhere, they have all the time in the world, and they're gonna love you before you heal, they're gonna love you during the healing, and they're gonna love you after the healing. So it's truly, you know, that's the definition of unconditional love, and that's the biggest lesson that they teach you. And, you know, they show you as well that you are also capable of exercising this unconditional love too. And then the biggest lesson that you teach them is matter. This is about being fully present and like allowing yourself to blossom in the physical world. And then we have the world. Okay, so interesting, being grounded in the physical world. You know, actually, with all this air sign energy that they have, it does make sense, because when you have an overwhelming amount of air, you can tend to get, you know, very in your head. You can have a very highly strung nervous energy. So I wonder if this person does have a little bit of, you know, tendency to, you know, be anxious or to worry, or just, you know, get in their head too much about certain things. So I feel like you teach them to just, you know, come back to earth, be present. You teach them that, you know, how can I describe this? You teach them that it's safe to be in the 3D, that it's safe to be grounded in the physical world. If any of you guys have had, you know, an anxiety attack before, I think you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, we don't feel safe in the world, so we're just like dissociating and hiding in our up in our head. You teach them to come down and to be calm in the present moment, to be calm in reality. You teach them that it's safe here, basically. Also with the world, I kind of, you know, take this to be quite similar to the World Tarot card, and this usually shows me, you know, a partner who will teach you a different perspective. Quite often it even does show a relationship between people who have, you know, different belief system or maybe different cultural background, something like this, and they can teach each other a lot about, well, literally about the world. They broaden each other's perspective. So it's like you're making this person more grounded, and you're making them feel more happy in the physical world rather than being up in their head all the time. So really calming their nerves, calming their anxiety, and helping them to worry less. Yes, okay, so that was everything for you guys. I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me read for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Hi, number twos. So if you chose the Selenite, this is going to be a reading all about your next relationship. So for these first two oracle cards, I wanted to see if we can get a feel for your next partner's personality, as well as a time frame of when you could be entering into the relationship. So the first card that we have is you're very close to achieving your goal, which is super exciting. And then we have luck is on your side. Okay, so just first of all to start, there is a message from your guides. They want to confirm to you that your prayers and manifestations regarding a new relationship are being heard, and they will be answered very, very soon. So please remember that your divine team and the universe is working in your favor. I know sometimes it doesn't seem that way, and we wonder if, you know, the intention that we're putting out there is really reaching anywhere. Your guides want to let you know that yes, it is. We hear you. We hear you loud and clear, and we are on it. We are working for you to bring this blessing to you. That is what they want to tell you. Now, as for the time frame, we see Sagittarius here, which is the end of the year, and I also see these trees around the moon, which they kind of look like Christmas trees to me, so it does make me think of winter and end of the year for both of these cards. So of course this is general reading, so you'll all be kind of at different stages in your love life, but what I want to say is that you guys will have a significant development by the end of this year. So just to break it down, because I know it's general, you're all kind of in different places. If you guys have somebody in mind and you have been dealing with them in this way, you know, with romantic potential, then you guys will be entering into a committed relationship by the end of this year. For those of you who have someone in mind, but you're not really involved in that way just yet, you will be by the end of this year. So things are going to heat up and, you know, start to take a more romantic direction for you guys by the end of this year. And then finally, if you really don't have anybody in mind, but you would like to meet somebody, then you will meet them by the end of this year. So I'm filming this video in September 2020. So this is assuming like, you know, the end of the year is in a few months. You're watching in 2020. For those of you who may have happened to stumble upon this video in 2021, what I did for the last pile is I used the phases of the moon to calculate the time frame. So we see this card is almost a full moon, and then there's a new moon here. So for this moon to become this moon, it's a little bit more than half of a moon cycle. So it's, I would say, a little bit more than half a year. If you're watching in 2021, you will be in a committed relationship in a little bit more than half a year. So maybe like 7 or 8 months or something like that. But for those of you watching in 2020, something's happening by the end of 2020. Okay, so now going on to your next partner's personality, we have the Sagittarius sign to go off of here. So it could be that your next partner has very strong Sagittarius in their chart, or they have a lot of ninth house placements. But this is just an archetype that we have so we can figure out about their personality. What I'm thinking right away from this Sagittarius energy, with it being ruled by Jupiter, is that your next partner has something going for them that really stands out to you and that you feel really drawn to. So they could be, for example, very, very successful. They could be very, very popular or extremely attractive. There's something about them that makes people like, damn, they have it going on. You know, they have their life together. They're doing amazing. They may even have kind of a higher status, I guess is the word that I'm thinking of, you know, something that separates them from the rest, and they're really excelling. And that is something that really draws you to them. Perhaps, you know, they're an inspiration to you, like you feel motivated to reach their level, or you feel motivated to achieve the things that they have achieved. And that's a huge reason that you will be, or that you are attracted to them. This is a person who is extremely ambitious, and they're independent. So regardless of whether or not they work with other people, they're perfectly capable of keeping themselves motivated and aiming high and achieving everything on their own. I think this person is very hardworking, very intelligent, and they really, really believe in themselves. So they do have quite a positive mindset for the most part. And this would be an independent person, so they're not really the type of person who, like, they don't feel like they need to be in a relationship. And that's actually a very good thing for you, because if they enter into a relationship with you, you know that it's because, you know, they genuinely like you, they genuinely want to be with you, and it's not coming from a place of lack, like, I'm lonely and I just want a partner. So they really, really like you for you. In addition to that, when you guys are in a relationship, this person will really respect your freedom. So, you know, there's no, I don't know the English word, like restricting each other. There's no restricting each other, like you can't go out with that person, or where are you going? Why didn't you text me? And this kind of thing. Like, they trust you. Yes, they're very trusting, and they respect your freedom. And at the same time, they will expect that from you. So if a partner gets, you know, too nosy or too clingy, it can make them very uncomfortable, you know, because it's like, just, you know, let me live my life, and why don't you trust me? So they're really big on that. They're really big on freedom, but they're also very big on honesty and openness. So this person is not going to hide anything from you. They're going to always tell you the truth, even if they kind of seem like an a-hole telling the truth, you know, because the Sagittarius energy is very blunt and straightforward. So they could be extremely open and honest, like sometimes to a fault, but it's just not them. They always keep it real. They don't want to hide anything. They just want to be completely open and just be completely natural with their partner. That's really important for them in a relationship. They want you to be just as much yourself as you were before you started dating them. So don't feel like you have to change anything, or that you have to act a certain way to impress them. Just be you, be yourself, and be natural, and keep it real with them. Tell them the truth, and that's really all that they could ask for. Another thing with the Sagittarius energy is that they're very likely, you know, at least open about spirituality. For some of you guys, it could be that they actually, you know, have spiritual practices, but they're probably at least open to the idea, because that Sagittarius energy is, you know, very interested in the deeper meaning of things, and, you know, finding the greater meaning of life and philosophizing about that sort of thing. They love anything that kind of challenges their mind and makes them broaden their perspective. So I think they will definitely be open or interested in spirituality. They would also be very interested in travel, other cultures, just learning about the world and learning about other people. Yes, okay, so that concludes the part about their personality. And now we have, oh my gosh, I can't talk. We have 3 tarot cards here, and I'm going to use these to describe the different stages of your relationship. So one will be for when you guys have just met, one will be for when you have just started dating, and one will be for when you guys have already been dating for some time. So the first card, wow, when you guys meet each other, is the Star. When you start dating is the 3 of Wands. And when you've been dating for some time is the Knight of Wands. So there's a lot of fire energy here with the Sagittarius and the 2 Wands cards, a lot of fire. There's also a little bit of Aquarius energy in case that is significant for any of you. But wow, okay. One or both of you is going to be completely head over heels for the other person, like from the second that you meet them. This Star energy matches really well with what we were talking about before, with that admiration and really, really being inspired by the other person. So maybe this is like how you feel towards them, like they're the star, they're so inspiring to you. But I have a feeling that this strong crush exists between the 2 of you, so it is going to be mutual. And already just from the first meeting, you will be thinking about your future with this person, and you know, you're gonna feel so hopeful. Like, I just have like this image of you met them, and then immediately, like when you part ways, you're like texting your friends about them. Maybe you're watching some pick-a cards about them because you're just so excited, like, oh my gosh, I think I met my person, and they just light you up. So really, really positive feelings right from the beginning. I do think this is mutual. It may be that one person just takes like a little bit more time to get there, like they develop the crush over time, but this has like major crushing energy to me, and like, you know, just wishing like, oh my gosh, I hope I can be with them, I hope I can be with them, like this kind of thing, a really giddy and exciting crush. So that is your first impression of each other. That's really, really amazing to see. And then when you guys start dating, it is the 3 of Wands. So I feel like, I think you guys are gonna go that route where there's like a confession and then you become a couple. So it's not this vague thing where it's like, what are we? And then the next thing we know, we're just in a relationship. I think it is going to be this definitive moment where one person asks the other to be their partner, because the 3 of Wands, to me, it's about like making this big move, you know, taking the risk and going out of your comfort zone. And you're like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell them that I like them. And it's like this like big moment that you have, and then of course it ends positively and you end up in the relationship together. So it is this kind of, you know, step by step and official thing, like we weren't a couple, we weren't romantic, and now we are. And it's gonna feel like this wish come true because you've been hoping for it from the second that you met them, and so it's gonna be really, really exciting. The 3 of Wands, to me, it's also about new opportunities. So you may find that ever since you've been in a relationship with this person, you're running into all these, you know, new exciting opportunities, you know, maybe like new connections, new advancements in your career, traveling to new places depending when you are watching this reading, basically having new experiences that you didn't have before. So they really do change your lifestyle, make things more interesting, and you feel so inspired when you're around this person. I see that actually in all 3 of these cards, you know, this feeling that anything is possible, and that it's just so what's the right word? Like inspired, but also carefree. Yes, it feels carefree. Like, let's just enjoy life together. I think this is quite a low maintenance relationship. Yes, I think that's the right word. It's very low stress, you know? And I kind of saw the same thing in pile 1 as well. So I'm really, really happy to see this, you know? It's quite unlikely that you guys will, you know, be getting mad at each other and fighting and walking on any sort of eggshells. It's very natural. It just flows really, really nice. So yes, we are on a roll with these readings. I love it. There's just so much happy energy in these cards. And then when you guys have been dating for some time, we have the Knight of Wands. I really, really love to see this as well, because the Knight of Wands is about, to me, it's about going after what you love. It's about achieving your goals. And I have a feeling that being in a relationship with this person is going to help you come out of your shell. So some of you guys watching this, you might be kind of shy, a little bit, you know, nervous about putting yourself out there. And this person just like, they bring you out of your shell. They make you more comfortable around people, more sociable, just more happy to get out there and experience things. And if there's any goals or aspirations that you guys have for your future, they're gonna make you feel like you can do it. You know, like they're gonna make you, or help you, I should say, help you to believe in yourself, help you to be confident, you know, and like anything that you want, it's worth a try. You know, like go get them, go for it. They're really, really encouraging and supportive like that, and they're always there to cheer you up. You know, the Knight of Wands, to me, he has a very cheerful and bright disposition about him. So whenever you're feeling down, like you guys are always there to cheer each other up. Just looking at each other's smile is enough to like wipe away the worst day you've ever had. And you have a presence that is very motivating to each other as well. You will probably have these big plans for the future, like big dreams for the future of what you're going to accomplish and what you're going to do together. And like, we're going to, you know, we're going to do this project together, and maybe like, oh my gosh, we should live in this country. We should, you know, go on a trip here. It's like, you're always making exciting plans. You always have something to look forward to. And it's just, it's so much fun. Like, I think that's a good way to phrase it. It's just so much fun. You have so much fun with them. Okay, so now I have these 3 cards here. These are my constellation cards, and we're going to take a look at what are some keywords of your relationship. Travel. Look at that. So 3 cards now that are strong indicators of travel. So if you're watching this in 2020, I think that means you will probably be with this person for quite some time, because you're seeing a time where we can travel again with this person. So yeah, it looks pretty long term to me. Yeah, you guys are gonna love exploring and having new experiences, and think about all the wonderful memories that you make together when you're trying new things, when you're exploring the world. Like, you're gonna have so much to look back on, and you're gonna bond in a way that is really, really special. I don't know if you've traveled overseas like with another person before and it's just the 2 of you. It's a great bonding experience because you plan everything together, then you deal with things not going according to plan together, you get lost, you know, you're walking around all tired, and then your portable Wi-Fi dies, and it's just, it's a great bonding experience. You do a lot together. Fluid. Okay, so that to me is like very adaptable. You guys are very flexible with each other, I think, and I feel a lot of open-mindedness. I feel a lot of willingness to put yourself in the other's shoes and understand where they're coming from, because you know that you won't be judged by the other person. There's very low instances of like being defensive, for example. You'll never feel, you know, judged or attacked by this person. So it just makes things a lot easier. You become more open, more adaptable. And yeah, I think I said this for pile 1 too, but they're not like, this person is not the type to get upset about things that don't really matter. And for the most part, like if there's anything you want to adjust, anything that you want to change in the relationship, like they're gonna be okay with it. Like whatever works for you, that's basically it. They want you to just be comfortable, and they don't want to stress you out for something that in the long run doesn't really matter. Like your happiness is what is the most important. So yeah, very easygoing. It's really quite easygoing. And then the next card, there is subtlety. Oh, that's kind of an interesting one. So this person does have a lot going for them, like I was picking up in the beginning of the reading. And in addition to that, it seems like you guys have a really, really happy and really fun relationship. However, I feel like you guys are very humble about it. You don't go around like parading your relationship and your love in everybody's face. You keep it to yourself. It's not something that you show off about. And I was going to say something. Right, because the experiences that you have, just the two of you, they're just for you. You know, you don't have anything to prove to anybody. You don't have to show off like, oh, look how amazing my life is and look at how good our relationship is. It's very much just between you guys. So that's a kind of interesting an interesting little like gap in this relationship. It's like you're doing such amazing things, but then you're actually very low key. You're actually very low key, and you're just keeping to yourself. You're minding your own business. You're making your money. You're reaching your goals, and you're very, very focused. And that's something about this person, is that people could misunderstand them for being, you know, like what's the word? People could misunderstand them for being like careless just because, you know, they're enjoying their life and having fun. People might think, for example, like they're a player, or they don't really have their stuff together. They're just doing whatever. But they're actually very, very earnest and very hardworking. Yes. Okay, so now let's go to our final cards. This is going to be the biggest lesson that your partner teaches you, and this is going to be the biggest lesson that you teach your partner. So first we have spirit. It says, I am a spirit in a physical body. And we have happy family. Oh my gosh. So these two cards together, it's giving me a huge soul family vibe. So this person is probably a member of your soul family. I think that the past lives that you have had with them, it's not necessarily always romantic. I think that you guys have had many different roles in each other's lives. I also think that you're not together all the time. Like maybe you just kind of pop in every now and then. Your souls are like those, you know, those friends that maybe you don't see them for months, but then, or even years, but then when you see them again, it's like nothing has changed and you just get right back to where you were and everything is great. I feel like that's how your souls are. They're like, oh, hey, I haven't seen you in 15 lifetimes. How's it been? You want to go have some fun? It's like that. So really, really happy and friendly relationship between your souls. You'll feel extremely comfortable with this person. And again, this is giving me the feeling that your next partner is spiritual. And now that I see this card, they probably do practice spirituality, and they have this kind of philosophy of, you know, our time here is temporary. We are just eternal beings. So we should enjoy this life as much as we can, and we should try to leave a positive impact behind. They're really, you know, looking at the bigger picture of their existence and the bigger picture of this universe. And I think they're going to help you feel a lot of peace in that, because anything stressful that you're going through, like they will remind you that, you know, this is just an illusion, and your spirit is so powerful, and you can choose any experience that you want. It's going to be a very liberating lesson that they teach you. So they're probably going to be actually quite meeting this person is going to be quite an important step in your spiritual awakening, and I think you're going to be very, very grateful to them. And actually, just as I said that, the timer on my camera went to 22:22. So I definitely think that's an important message for you guys. So here now we have the biggest lesson that you will teach them. So this is like amusement, fun. I can find light even in difficult situations. And woman holding a heart. Aww. So this card goes really, really well with what we were talking about with the Knight of Wands, like always being able to cheer this person up. And it's interesting because it's kind of the same message for both of you, you know? You're so good at helping each other out of sadness or stressful situations and genuinely making the other person feel better. It's like when you look at them, you just can't help but smile. And when you think about the fact that they found you and you're in each other's lives and you think about the blessing that is, it's like, how can I be sad? Like, I have the biggest blessing ever. You just have this way of always keeping each other in such a wonderful mood and being hopeful for the future. And I know that this whole reading has been, you know, this lighthearted and fun thing, but I actually feel very emotional talking about that. Because to truly reach this level where you can be so happy and so carefree, you have to fight for that. You have to go through some stuff, you know? So it could be that, you know, the person that you're going to be in a relationship with has actually had a dark past and they've really fought to get to this, you know, happy-go-lucky and positive place. And you kind of remind them what it's all about. Like, yes, this is why I'm grateful to be alive. So, you know, as lighthearted as this whole thing may have seemed, it's actually, like, I do feel very moved by reading for this part. And then we have the woman holding a heart. So I think you bring out this person's soft side and this person's romantic side. Going back to the Sagittarius, you know, it's not the most romantic energy, and they're not super likely to get attached. And we even saw in the beginning of the reading that this person is all about their freedom. But I think you bring out this kind of like soft and sensitive side to them where they might actually be like, oh, but I haven't seen you in a week, you know, whereas that's not really like them at all. Like, they may have been the type of person like, bye, I'm leaving for a few months, and like kind of bad at keeping in contact. I think that's very Sagittarius-y. But you bring out this side of them that's like, I want to be close to you. I want to feel connected to you, and I want to snuggle you. You bring out that like lovey-dovey romantic energy in them. So it's kind of a whole like new area for them to explore. So kind of funny that there's a butterfly on this card too, which is like, you know, transformation, change, new possibilities. It's kind of a new side to them that I think they really, really love, and they're becoming more romantic with you. Another thing I noticed, there's 33 and 44, and then there's a 4 again, and then there's a 3 if we add up the 12. So you guys, before you meet this person or before you are about to get into the relationship, if you already know them, you might see repeated 3s and repeated 4s a lot. So pay attention to that. Your guides, they wanted to tell you at the beginning of this reading that they are working on it and they are answering your prayers. So they might relay that message to you through repeating 3s and repeating. And of course, my camera overheats right when I'm talking about that. Your guides just got excited. Okay, so I'm going to end the reading here. I'm going to try to do this outro quickly in case she over... Thank you very, very much for letting me read for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye! Hi, number 3s. So if you chose the Sodalite, this is going to be a reading all about your next relationship. So for the first 2 oracle cards, I want to see if we can get a feel for the personality of your next partner, as well as a time frame of when you could be entering into the relationship with them. So your first card is a personal issue reaches resolution, and the next one, adjustments are required. Okay, so first off, when it comes to this moon deck in a reading for relationships, I like to think of a new moon card as a completely new person coming into your life and a full moon card as somebody that you already know. So you guys, you have a full moon and a half moon here. So what I'm thinking is that for the majority of you guys, you already know the person who you are going to be in a relationship with. You have already met them. And for a big chunk of you as well, you may already have a romantic history with them. So perhaps, you know, this is an ex who is coming back into your life. If that completely doesn't resonate with you, like you have no intention of getting back with your ex, please forget about that. This is for those of you who are actually wanting your ex to come back. That is what I'm seeing for you. But at the very least, I really do think that most of you already know who this is and are probably watching the reading to find out if you're going to end up in a relationship with them. And yes, you are. Okay, so going with a personal issue reaches resolution. This can just be talking about a wish of yours that is being fulfilled, you know, ending up in the relationship with the person that you wanted to be with. But for those of you who were thinking about an ex that you want to get back with, this is a really, really nice card for you because it means that you guys are going to find peace with each other. You're going to find, like this card says, a resolution to your conflict, and there will be a reconciliation. Also, the Cancer Moon cards in this deck, they always make me think that there is a guide watching over the two of you that is helping you through this time, helping you with your healing, and is ultimately going to bring the two of you back together. So it's just a really nice comforting message to start the reading off with. And the next card that we have here is Adjustments Are Required. So I think this card is telling us, you know, there is a reason for the separation that you've had, or if you haven't been in a relationship with this person yet, there is a reason that it hasn't happened yet. There were some things that needed to change. As this card says, some adjustments that needed to be made on both of your ends. Maybe you needed to have a little bit more time to grow, or there were some experiences that you needed to have first, some lessons that you needed to learn first. If any of you are going through a transitional phase right now where, you know, things seem to be up in the air and there's a lot of uncertainty, your guides want you to trust that all of these transitions are going to bring you exactly to where you need to be, and they are working in favor of you coming into union with this individual. Okay, so please don't be afraid of any changes that are happening in your life right now, and know that they are for the best. They are for your highest good. Okay, so now as for the personality of your next partner, we have this Cancer energy to go off of here. So your next partner could have a lot of Cancer in their chart, like a Cancer Sun or Venus, and also Mercury, I'm getting for some reason. They could also have a lot of fourth house placements in their chart, but the Cancer energy is quite sensitive, very intuitive, very perceptive to the energies around them. This is someone who has, you know, more of a gentle and soft nature, and they really just want a partner that they can feel safe and comfortable with. This would be the type of person, you know, who dreams of having that happy home life, who dreams of, you know, being able to take care of and provide for their loved ones. We often see with this Cancer energy kind of someone who takes on the role of a mom friend, or it could be a dad friend, you know, that friend who's always, you know, looking out for the other friends, making sure they're taken care of, making sure they're eating. They always want to make sure that their problems are solved, that they're sleeping well, that they're happy. They're really, really extremely caring and thoughtful. When it comes to relationships, romantic relationships, this will be a very sentimental partner. So they will remember like all of the dates that are important in your relationship. They'll remember like when you met, when you had your first kiss, when you had your first date, and they like to, you know, celebrate those milestones and those anniversaries. you know, when it comes to your birthday or any holidays, they're not just going to get you any old gift. They're going to get something that is very personal to you and that brings some kind of sentimental value. And they know you a lot better than maybe you would like to admit. It sometimes feels like they know you better than you know yourself. They can predict like how you're going to react to certain things. And I just got this image of like other people in your life coming to them, like if they want to surprise you, if they want to get you a gift, or you know, what would she think of this, or how should we go about this, and they can say like, oh no, they wouldn't like that. So they just know you so very well. They're so attentive, you know, but at the same time, they also know all your little pet peeves. They know how to push your buttons. They know how to trigger you. So you know, with such a sensitive person like this, and with the crab, you know, who is a little snappy, you know, they can get moody sometimes, and they can get a little petty sometimes. So if you guys are ever in an argument, because they know you so well, they also know, you know, how to set you off. They know how to say little things that get under your skin. So it can kind of go both ways. And Cancer is ruled by the moon, which is the fastest moving heavenly body when it comes to astrology, and it also has, you know, all its different phases. So this can show someone whose mood tends to fluctuate quite a bit, someone who is very influenced by their environment. So they could get, for example, get like extra moody when they're tired or hungry, or like if the energy around them, the vibes around them are bad, they really pick up on that. And oh yes, I wanted to say another thing is that they could be the type to, you know, take things really personally. So, you know, they could think quite easily that you're upset with them or something like that, or you just made a joke, but they really took it to heart. So maybe there's a little bit of pride with this person, but more than anything, I just think they're really quite sensitive and soft, and they must be protected and treated with care, you know. They're always trying to like look after people and look out for them, but I think on a deep level they really want to be treated like that as well. You know, they want to be cared for and like not babied, but you know what I mean. They want to be spoiled a little bit sometimes too. Okay, so that concludes the portion about the personality. Oh, I also wanted to say a time frame. I wanted to say a time frame for when you guys are going to be in the relationship. So from a full moon to a third quarter moon, that is a quarter of a cycle. So I'm going to say a quarter of a year. So that means you will be in a relationship with this person within 3 months. Okay, 3 months. I'm sorry, I almost forgot. So now moving on, we have 3 tarot cards here, and I'm going to use these for the different phases of the relationship. So this one will be when you guys have just met. This one will be when you guys are just starting dating, and this will be when you have been dating for quite some time. Okay, so the first card we have is the King of Cups. And we have the Ten of Swords, okay, and the Eight of Wands. This Ten of Swords in the middle, okay. I really do feel like a lot of you who chose this pile, you are getting back with an ex. And if that's not the case for you, like I said, if that's completely off the table, then that message is not for you. However, for those of you who are not looking to get back with an ex, I am seeing this Ten of Swords here in the middle, and so I'm actually thinking that you guys might get together once, and then there is a separation, and then you get back together again. So maybe you guys, like, you know, you're sort of getting romantically involved, you're getting there, and then it kind of falls apart, but then you reunite and get into the committed relationship. For some of you, you could actually go on a break when you're in your committed relationship, or have a falling out and then get back. But this Ten of Swords here is kind of like a bummer card that is interrupting the nice energy here. And the Ten of Swords, it is about an ending. It's kind of this feeling of like not being able to take anymore and things are coming to an end. I'll talk about that more in a second, but Let's look at this King of Cups, because this is a really beautiful card, and this is the first card, like, for the stages of your relationship. This is how you feel about each other when you first meet, and so this is definitely giving me a feeling of love at first sight. Like, when you met this person, or when you meet this person, you were already thinking that you want to be in a loving and committed relationship with them. The King of Cups has so much love in his heart, and he is ready to give it to someone. He is ready to commit. I think that look at him. He's like, it looks like he's submerged in water, like all the way up to his chest. And we can think of water as representing our emotions. So it's almost like he's being flooded with this emotion. Probably after you meet, you'll find like you cannot stop thinking about this person. And the emotions are very intense and very strong, very fast. Now what might happen then, because you have the Ten of Swords after, is maybe it just becomes too overwhelming, you know, as this water level starts to rise and the feelings get to be stronger and stronger. You know, it can create pressure on both sides. It can just get to be too much. So it may be, this Ten of Swords may be that somebody gets scared, you know, of how intense it is or how fast things are going, and they just need to distance themselves. However, I am thinking for some of you, it will be circumstances that are out of your control, okay? So, for example, it could be that you get together and you really, really love each other, but you enter into like a long distance situation, for example, and maybe you just both make the decision that, you know, maybe it's best to break things off while we're physically apart, just to not put that pressure on each other. And, you know, it's going to be really hard if we can't see each other. Maybe it's best to go our separate ways for now. Even with this card, sometimes I see, you know, these swords as the expectations or the opinions of disapproving people. So it could be that there's barriers regarding third parties in your relationship, you know, like a family that doesn't approve, or too many people giving their opinions on the relationship, and it just gets into your head. You get confused about what you should do. And there is a coming apart in the middle of your relationship, okay? So for those of you who are asking about an ex, I suppose this has already happened. But if you're asking about a new person that you want to be with, just be prepared maybe for some turbulent times, like once you've gotten into the relationship, and you might have to take some time apart and cool off a little bit, because mentally it will just be a lot. But that being said, I feel like throughout all the ups and downs of your relationship, whether you're together or separated or whatever it may be, there's never a moment where you don't love this person, and there's never a moment where they don't love you. Like with the King of Cups, and even look at all the hearts, like your heart spaces are connected throughout this whole thing, and no matter what happens, you have so much love for them. And I know that your spirit guides want you to be together, and they're going to give you all of the divine assistance that you need to get through this difficult time, okay? So please don't worry about this too much. Your next card is the Eight of Wands, which I associate with, or the meaning of the card, I should say, you know, it's good news coming. It's the outcome that you wanted manifesting. And the Eight of Wands, it's about things happening really, really quickly. But the way I'm interpreting it in this context is that you guys acknowledge, like, okay, things were moving way too fast in the start, and let's try this again, and let's take things slow this time, you know? Like, no stress, no pressure. Let's just feel our way through this and take it a day at a time. And let's do this right. Let's make this work. Okay, so yes, please don't feel too concerned about this, because I know that there will be a reunion, there will be a reconciliation, and that's maybe what this adjustments are required is, you know, you will get back and things will be different, and you'll take all the necessary steps to make this work. Whatever these swords are that were hurting you or that were getting in the way, they will either remove themselves, or you will find a way to work past it together. Because when you have this much love for each other, you can overcome anything. anything that life throws your way. And with divine support especially, you can overcome anything. In most decks, these wands are actually depicted as like coming down from the sky. So you can think of this reunion as a blessing from your guides, a blessing from the universe, and something that your higher selves really, really want. Okay, so this is a really important connection, and you're not going to give up without a little fight, okay? So don't worry. Everything is going to turn out beautifully with personal issue reaches resolution. And the way I feel like when you guys are finally together and things are good, it's such a gentle connection. Like, how can I describe it? It's so soothing and warm. It feels like being wrapped up in a warm blanket and stargazing. Oh my gosh, that's so cheesy, but it's so romantic. It's so warm and loving. I feel like I'm really not doing it justice, but it's that kind of love where you can just stare into each other's eyes forever, and you can just like kiss them forever, or you can just list off all the things that you love about them forever. So it's really, really worth fighting for. Okay. Yes, okay. Whew, I got carried away. I got carried away in the emotion. Whew, okay, let's move on to the next cards now. These are my constellation cards, and I'm going to use these as some keywords for your relationship. Unite. So we do have Gemini energy coming through here in case that's relevant. Gemini and Cancer often appear like together in somebody's birth chart. Like they could be a Gemini with Cancer, Mercury, Venus. They could be a Cancer with Gemini, Mercury, Venus. So perhaps these are significant to you. Also looking at the shape of the constellation, they're clearly united. They're holding hands. And Gemini, of course, is the twin constellation. So very high probability of, you know, this being a soulmate or a divine counterpart. Actually, it really most definitely is if you have guides helping you out. Next we have overcome. So perfect, absolutely perfect. Whatever difficulties you guys have faced, whatever barriers there are in your connection, whatever differences exist between you, you can overcome anything. This is like a relationship where you learn the truth of the fact that love really does conquer all. And, you know, any 3D difficulty, it does not hold a candle to what divine love can do. And you will feel that firsthand in this relationship. And then resurrect. Okay, so I mean, there's really strong indication of like a coming together and a separating and a coming together again. Like with unite, overcome, resurrect, it seems like a pretty clear message to me. And I like, you know, this looks like it's broken apart, right? And then you're coming back together and you're holding hands. And I don't think this is going to be something that happens a bunch of times, you know, like on and off, like no contact. I think it's just going to be like one-time thing. So please don't worry too much about this. And then once you're together, you are together. You are inseparable. And you're like, holy crap, I never want to be apart from you again. Please, let's never do that again. I did not enjoy that. Let's just stay together. Okay. I think you guys maybe... it's been a few lifetimes. It's been a few lifetimes since you were together. And I do think you guys have had some painful experiences together in your past lives. If you guys do any sort of, you know, shadow work or healing work, maybe you have had some of those less than pleasant memories surface. And so not only are you dealing with things in this lifetime, you're also dealing with things in past lifetimes. It's a lot. Like you guys, you're carrying a lot of weight. But you're going to make it work. You're going to be like these guys. And never come apart again. Gemini energy, when it appears in a relationship reading, it also makes me think of a psychic or telepathic connection. So I think whether you have met this person or not, you are connected to them psychically, and you can pick up on thoughts that they are having, things that they are going through. You are able to channel them. Whether you have done that yet or not, you do have the ability of doing so. So I'll just put that out there. Okay, so now these are going to be the final cards of the reading. So there's 2 oracle cards, and these are going to be the biggest lessons that you teach each other. So these are the biggest lesson that your partner teaches you, and this is the biggest lesson that you teach your partner. Eternity! And it says every ending is also a beginning. So just to recap, so far we have a resolution here, we have separation and coming back together, we have unite, overcome, and resurrect, and now we have a card saying that an ending is also a beginning. So this is really, really strong message. I feel like your guides really, really want you to have hope in this connection, because like I said, I'm pretty sure you guys know who this is. I'm pretty sure you guys know who this is, and your guides want you to have faith. For those of you who don't have a specific person in mind, please have faith that you will find love, that you will find this person. And like I said, any transitions that you've had, anything in your life that had to come to an end, it was so that you could have this new beginning with them. And then we have the thinking man. So yes, this is the biggest lesson that your partner is teaching you. The thinking man here, he is looking at this crystal, and I always look at how, bright and clear it is. And this is like seeing the truth of a situation, being able to look at the situation objectively. To me, this is also about having a clearer intuition. So through your connection with this person, you learn how to distinguish, what is your intuition? What is your ego? What is your guides? You're able to filter the information coming through your head and get a very clear vision of the truth. And you also get to see your true self. Your true self becomes clear. This is somebody who will trigger a lot of self-reflection on your end and challenge you to see the truth of who you really are, because a lot of us are not prepared for that, We're not prepared to see the entirety of our truth, because some of it is uncomfortable, some of it is painful, some of it is disturbing. We don't want to admit that, this is a part of us. But this person challenges you and helps you to see the truth in every situation, especially within yourself, which is an amazing gift. And then this is the greatest lesson that you teach them. Contentment. I'm completely satisfied with what I have. And the 3rd chakra. Okay, so okay, this is going to be a message for some of you who are asking about an ex. They may have ended things or walked away because they thought that they would be happier without you. They thought that they would be happier like if they were single, if they were not committed, or if they were with someone else, or whatever it was. And you taught them like how to appreciate a blessing or a great thing when they have it, and not always be thinking of, the best thing is something out there, the best thing is something that I don't have, and the grass is greener, and this kind of mentality. You have taught them to value and treasure what they already have and to be grateful. And maybe it took an absence for them to realize it. But another message I'm getting for this, because we do have the 3rd chakra, which is the solar plexus, and this is about fulfilling your desires, and this is about expressing yourself. I feel like you guys may help this person to go after their dreams and to achieve what it is that they want to achieve. So you help them to become more confident, and you help them to put themselves out there, to believe in themselves, and to to actively pursue whatever it is that they're aspiring to, because maybe this person has been very afraid. You know, like when they're faced with something that they really want, they become scared and they might like sabotage it and run away from it. And you're teaching them, you know, to step up and go after what it is that they really want. You know, they're doing that with you, of course, and then they're doing that with other things in their life too, like goals that they want to achieve. And you're teaching them to stand up for themselves and like just do it, you know, just go for it, make it happen. Don't be afraid. You know, you owe it to yourself to chase this happiness and to receive these blessings. So you're really like, look at all this yellow color. Like you're such a bright light in their life. You're like the sunshine in their life. Okay, so I'm going to end the reading there. Thank you very, very much for letting me read for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. Take good care of yourself, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!